everyone. This is the video update for the first meeting in June that took place on June 1st. Today is June 3rd. If my little kid sister's watching this, happy birthday. We had a very long meeting, so I'm going to get right into the issues. There are 6 things I'm going to talk about. Much more than that actually happened. But the city council meeting actually took 5.5 hours. We got out of there at about somewhere around 12:30 at night. So we had a lot of things to cover. We had 9 different hearings, and many of them had different parties that were speaking to them. One of the most important things about having somebody is going to go back for you in office is that sometimes some of the most important things that happen outside of the city council meetings. And we actually had something that I think is a tremendous victory for the taxpayer that happened by consensus. Everyone agreed to it at the dinner meeting before the city council meeting. We have a dinner meeting before the first city council meeting of each month. Again, because of open meeting laws, we can't actually just sit down and talk with each other. If more than a quorum is in a room, we're violating the Minnesota open meeting law, so that's why these dinner meetings become a little bit more important. One of the things that I suggested in the council, they all agreed with, to their credit, is that we give a lot of money out to other organizations that we don't have oversight over, funding them, groups like the RDA, Rochester Visitor and Convention Bureau, and a few others. And the issue is no one ever sees their financials, and that's something that concerns me. Beginning next year now in 2010, as a condition of receiving funds from the city of Rochester, they will provide their annual financials in an electronic form, and we will put them on our website. I think everyone has the right to go in there and look. I don't think there are shenanigans going on. I just think that we need that transparency to be there. So I'm pretty happy with that, and that actually happened outside of the confines of a city council meeting, or at least the traditional 7 o'clock meetings. 5 issues, I was happy with the way that, or 6 issues, I was happy with the way 5 of them turned out. One of them not so much. The 65th Street interchange came up again. It was a letter of support, and until we get our zoning practices in order and take care of sprawl, we cannot afford to keep continuing building infrastructure. The only reason the 65th Street interchange is really needed right now, reduce congestion on 55th, but there's not a good way to do that really, because we can't put a frontage road on the west side. And there are some corporations who speculated on some land and want it, so I continue to claim that until we get our ducks in a row, until we figure out how we're going to do zoning responsibly, how we're going to build responsible neighborhoods so we don't have to keep building one $10 million project after the next to let people drive to these automobile-only places, I don't see us wasting the money on the infrastructure. On 65th Street, I call it corporate welfare, and I stand by that. It's I think to the east side of that, there's actually a very responsible development going in there, and I'm glad that this is going to help them out if it does in fact go through. But on the west side, we're basically doing this for more suburban sprawl, and that's not where I think we should be spending our money. I think there's a lot more responsible things we can do with it. I lost that one. Mark Bilderbeck lost with me. It was a 5-2 vote, and this was not actually to do the interchange. It was to put a letter requesting funding for it. Big issue that pertains to Ward 2. Congratulations to the Kusky Park Neighborhood Association. We were able to work with the developer and come up with a plan that was nowhere near as unfriendly to pedestrians and neighborhoods as the first plan that came through. That was by a 5-2 vote. Some people got up in arms the fact that I actually went to the planning and zoning and took exception to the fact that when there were neighborhood meetings on this, the neighborhood association was not notified. I think that's something that was inappropriate, and to that end, I went to a meeting to make sure that the neighborhood in fact got their say, not just the small number of people that lived within X distance of this. The plan that we came up with is going to be a much more attractive building, and the building is going to be situated on the corner. Initially, there was a concrete moat, which, for those of you that don't know anything about urban design, basically what it was going to be is it was going to be a very unattractive siting on a location, make it very unfriendly for pedestrians. In order to accomplish this, we had to make a small modification to the streetscape that may cause issues a couple hours a day, 15 years in the future, if some speculated upon growth rates and traffic actually do materialize. Basically, the neighborhood's better off, pedestrians are better off, the developer is better off in the way that they're able to produce the building as well. And the only thing that happened is we had to make a small modification to the streetscape. Now a couple people took exception. They didn't feel that the what we had to gain was worth anything, and but we won that one 5-2. I think that's a huge victory for the neighborhood association. I think that if the neighborhood association had not been proactive, they could have been stepped on a lot like those Washington Village folks were. The first step of the tree ordinance also passed. This is the fourth issue. It's basically says start working on it. Okay, well, I don't know why we couldn't have done this 2 months ago. There were some people that stated that they didn't want to support it in the past because it wasn't comprehensive enough, so I offered an amendment that was very comprehensive. Those same people were not interested in having a more comprehensive one at this point. The fifth one, this one's still up in the air, and something we need to protect is the Valley High Corridor. The Chamber of Commerce came and some businesses came and said, no, we don't want this bike trail that's been planned since 1985 to go in. So if you're concerned about bike trails and the future of transit, it's a corridor that we absolutely need to protect. I'm willing to work with business owners in so much as it fits into the long-term planning of the community. Currently it's a unused railroad spur line. It's my intent to see this protected. Now it was delayed a couple weeks. I very much want to get this corridor preserved immediately. This is also going to provide safe pedestrian access for all those people that live in the northwest part of the town, going all the way out to Pine Island, to the new Cascade Park that we're creating. And right now there's not safe access. The bike lane along West Circle Drive was poorly designed. It's poorly maintained. It's not cleared in the winter. It's not safe to ride at night. Basically you ride right into headlights. It's very difficult. Cars don't stop at the intersections. The intersections are heavily used. It's basically a pretty good example of how not to build a bicycle trail. In fact, you go to some of the intersections, and if you're on the bike trail, you can't actually reach the button to let you to give you the green pedestrian sign to cross. So that's kind of a silly thing. This would fix all of that, but at the last minute, a few people jumped in and they came and made some wild accusations, which are not backed by facts at all. It was insulting to sit there and look at that, particularly DNR vending is one of the ones. And a couple weeks before I got this letter, or at least within a couple weeks before I got this letter, I was actually had to take the ditch because a DNR truck ran through a stop sign and stopped at the intersection instead of behind the stop sign, and basically cut me off when it was safe for me to cross the intersection. And if you want to get my support for cutting off safe bikeways so you can have the option to do things with your business, that's probably not the way you want to go about doing it. The sixth item is the Too Good property. For those of you who don't know that, if you go down by Apache Mall and cross the river on 16th, that's the properties that are to the north and to the south of 16th there. There's plans for a pretty large-scale mixed-use redevelopment. It's the kind of redevelopment that we should be doing as a city. I mean, basically, we're going to get more infrastructure. We're going to get more shops. We're going to get more residential without adding more infrastructure burden that the taxpayers have to pay for. What a great deal for everyone. I wish we were doing more of this. They had to do some special zoning to get this done, and I mean, the neighbors, I give a lot of credit to the folks at Stone Barn Estates. Someone that came, and I share this with the mayor too, who also lives in Stone Barn Estates, that I was really impressed with how prepared they came and the insightful comments that they made, and I think that we got most of those items addressed. There were a couple that weren't going to be addressed. I don't think they were quite as well thought out. In particular, somebody wanted residential only development, and sorry, that ship has sailed. We know that that's a bad way to design a city, and we need to get away from that. But that passed as well. So basically, I was pretty happy with the meeting. The 6 items that were most important to me, we went 4-1-1 with the tie being the Valley High protection that for that corridor, and hopefully we get that resolved here at the next meeting. And that's all I have for now. Another meeting in 2 weeks. Thanks for checking in with these videos, and please take the time to forward them on. Get me more email addresses of people that are interested, or post this on your Facebook page. The idea is to get more and more subscribers so we can get messages out quickly for things that are important to neighborhoods. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather we have, and I will talk to you again in a couple weeks.